Electric vehicles increasingly a target of the anti-everything right wing. As many of you know, I am for electric vehicles. I have an electric vehicle. I think they're great in many ways. Nothing is perfect. Everything has pros and cons. I think that the reality of electric vehicles is good enough. I don't feel like anything needs to be exaggerated about them. But also, a lot of the claims made about electric vehicles that are negative claims are false. And I'm going to play for you such an example. On Fox News yesterday, Judge Jeanine Pirro, this is an image of Geraldo Rivera, but he's on a program with Judge Jeanine Pirro. She delivered an unhinged tirade about electric vehicles that ends up with her yelling, "What if you live in middle America? Who gives a damn about what's happening in New York City?" I mean, completely unintelligible. Listen to the specific claims she makes, and we'll talk about them one by one.
I submit respectfully that if they want to lead by example, then they've got to bite the bullet.
Okay, this is what I think. I think when Joe Biden came out and he told those mom and pop gas stations to lower the prices and do it now, they all got scared of Joe and they said, "Oh, we better lower the price of gas." Look, that's all hogwash. What this guy is doing right now is he's taking credit for something that he didn't do, okay? And now if he declares this emergency, everybody's gonna say, "Oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? There's not gonna be any gas." And even though he's taking credit for more gas, they've got to buy now an electric vehicle.
Okay, so before she even gets into electric vehicles, this is the same old story. Biden gets all of the blame for the run up of gas prices and none of the credit for the decline. Now, I think he has barely anything to do with both. And I said that under Trump. I said it under Obama. I said it under Bush. Presidents have very little to do with gas prices. But on Fox, they blame Biden for the increase and they don't give him credit. But then now she says, really, the switcheroo is they want to get you on electric vehicles.
An electric vehicle, the average one costs $64,000. The average car costs $46,000. The average American doesn't have a new car. So the average American, and when Pete Buttigieg says, look, you may pay a little more in your car payment, the average American doesn't have a car payment.
Okay, so first of all, wow. If you, where to even start? If Americans don't have car payments, then it's not really even relevant. But the important thing here is when she talks about the average price of electric vehicles, the number she states is outdated. Actually, average price of electric vehicle 2022. It's down to $54,000. So let's actually think that through. Jeanine says nobody can afford electric vehicles, okay? Average electric vehicle costs $64K, and average non-electric vehicle new costs $46K, okay? That's a difference of $18,000. The real average price of an electric vehicle in 2022 is $54,000. Now, it's still more, right? $54,000 versus $46,000. But there's up to a $7,500 federal credit for people who buy electric vehicles. So all of a sudden, your $8,000 difference becomes much smaller. And then you have the fact that on average, it costs 1/3 of what it costs in a gas vehicle to go 1 mile with an electric vehicle. So Jeanine's just wrong. The cars aren't cheap for sure. But when you consider the gas savings and the credit, it's actually not as big of a difference anymore. Now, not everybody gets new cars. That's absolutely true. Let's continue.
The average American is driving a car that he or she has had for a long time, and they're not making payments. The car is paid for. It's old. They're just surviving and deciding if they have enough gas to go to work and to buy the food that they need. And the sad part of all this is that they don't understand America. They don't understand what's going on in America when they say, oh, just buy an electric vehicle, or, oh, the government should get electric vehicles. We don't have the infrastructure for electric vehicles. We can,
in part because the government hasn't invested enough in that infrastructure, right? I mean, the infrastructure will follow demand. We are already seeing that in areas where you see more electrical vehicle sales. You see more companies enter the market and say, we're going to do charging stations, we're going to do portable charging, we're going to do a device that you can keep in your trunk with a fully charged battery to charge right out of it. And then you just swing by and you get one that's already charged and leave yours. All of these things they talk about the market. Allow the market to function.
I'm not going to tell you who it is, but the guy that I buy some of my cars from, he says to me, Jeanine, I'm buying one. He said, I don't even like it. I don't want to drive it. I can't drive it anywhere but around town.
There were 10.
This is all, let me finish. This is all make-believe nonsense where America is not supporting these green lunatics.
I was driving into work today, went to Starbucks.
What, your Bentley?
10 charging stations in the Starbucks.
Yeah,
Right. Right.
It's growing. The infrastructure will be
What
there.
if you're an American living in middle
I'm an
America?
American.
Who gives
I live
a
in
damn?
middle America.
Who gives a damn about what's going on in New York City next to the Starbucks?
So the other thing that they often will talk about with middle America is there's no infrastructure. You don't have places to charge. Most people don't need to charge anywhere other than home. This is the other, the anti-electric vehicle, I don't want to call it an industry. The opponents of electric vehicles will often say these vehicles just don't have long enough ranges where you can count on going and coming back from work, even in many cases. Even in middle America, that's an even bigger issue. This is completely untrue. The median electric vehicle has gone from being able to drive 68 miles without a charge in 2011 to 234 miles right now. That's the median vehicle, and there's ones with much longer ranges. Very few people, even in middle America, have a commute that would make that median range a problem. Let's be conservative. Your goal is, I want to go to work and back, and I don't want to be cutting it close. I want 20% battery remaining when I get home. With the median electric vehicle, 234 mile range, you can do a 94 mile commute. Now, I don't mean 94 miles round trip. I mean, you can go 94 miles to work, come back 94 miles, and still have 20% battery left over. You get the gas savings, you can get the federal credit for the vehicle, and you don't have to charge anywhere but at home. In addition to that, many electric companies now give you rebates if you charge during off-peak hours. I just set up my vehicle now by charging after, I think it's 9 p.m., by charging only after 9 p.m., I get something like, 5 cents per kilowatt hour back, and I get a check every month. They are lying. Okay, these are simply not issues. The cost of the vehicles, sure, it's coming down. The range of the vehicles, it's increasing. The cost of the electricity, it's a fraction of what gas costs. And of course, we could have, instead of subsidized gasoline, we could get rid of those subsidies, let the cost of gas really reflect the total cost, including the environmental cost, which we don't. We don't have accurate gas prices in the United States, and further subsidize the electric vehicles. So Jeanine is completely unhinged, attacking everything that is good. If Jeanine is against it, you should consider whether it's something we should be very happy about.